at all. Don't feel like picking up the phone, so leave the message after the tone. Cause today I don't feel like doing anything, nothing at all. Is that your song? Are you feeling extremely bored? Are you bored to death? Then this is the video for you. You've clicked on just the perfect icon because in this video we are going to learn very interesting ways to express boring mood. Yes. So please stay with me. I am Michelle and let's start with the first phrase here. The first phrase, it does nothing for me. The word nothing here means that nothing at all. It signifies boredom. So obviously this phrase is talking about being extremely bored. Let me share a situation with you. Once, with my friend Mary, we were having a conversation and she had recently read a book. And she was telling me about it, that, oh, this book was so great. It really moved me. It brought me to tears. I was like, okay, which book is it? When she told me the name, I had also just recently read that book. However, that book did nothing for me. So it left me absolutely without any emotions. I did not feel like crying. It did not move me. So probably it did not have the same impact on both of us. When something does not impact you in a strong way and makes you feel emotionless, then you can use this phrase. It did nothing for me, or it does nothing for me. Does can be used for the present form and did can be used for the past form. I'll write it for you here. Emotionless. Not only books, you can also talk about movies. You could say that that movie left me emotionless, or that movie does nothing for me. Would mean the same thing, or the movie left me cold. With this, let's move on to the second phrase. To watch paint dry. Who likes to watch paint dry? Do you? I don't. Did any one of you really raise your hand? If you did, do you see rainbows when the paint is drying? I'm sure not. It's absolutely boring. So very boring. So what do you say when you feel so bored? Like you're watching paint. Let me give you like you're watching paint dry. Let me give you a situation. So when you're watching TV and there are really long commercials, how does it feel? Isn't it as boring as watching paint dry? That's where you can use this phrase. This phrase is also called a simile. Yes, because you started with an as. Sometimes. As boring as watching paint dry. The two as mean that it is a simile. Doing a particular activity, like maybe watching golf, is as boring as watching paint dry. You're comparing the two things. You're bringing them together. That's what a simile means. Extremely boring, isn't it? Happens sometimes. Okay, let's move to the third one. I'm afraid I don't share your enthusiasm. How does that look? I'm afraid. See, I'm afraid is generally used when you're in a situation which is slightly formal and not so personal. Not so personal. And also, it can be that if you're just trying to be polite, even if it's your friend and you're just trying to not hurt their feelings, not offend them, then probably this will be a good phrase that you can use. Formal or polite. Do you want to know an example? So, it so happens that I don't really like politics. However, I do have friends who really enjoy talking about politics. And for me, I just don't enjoy it. So when we are talking about it, I don't want to offend them. I don't want to tell them that kindly don't talk about it. That's very rude. So what do I tell them? I tell them, I'm afraid but I don't share your enthusiasm on this topic. Let's talk about something else. That's one way of not hurting them and moving to another topic, right? Let's move to the next phrase with that. I can't say that I find it interesting. This is also the same thing. You don't find politics interesting, you find it very boring, or maybe you don't find football or soccer interesting. You could just say that I can't say I find it interesting. If your friends are planning to go out and they say that, okay, let's go for a football match, and you're like, okay, wow, why a football match? So you must be thinking, how should I tell them that I don't want to watch a football match? You can simply say, I can't say that I find football interesting. Let's do something else. That's one way of not offending somebody. Not offending. Right. Here we are to the next phrase. I can't see what all the fuss is about. Fuss. Fuss is something where everyone is talking about one thing, and that becomes so popular and so liked by everyone. For me, Star Wars, it really doesn't excite me. I think it's like, I don't understand it, I don't enjoy it, but everyone around me is talking about it. So sometimes I end up saying to them, I can't see what all the fuss is about for Star Wars. If there is anything like that for you, which everyone around you likes, and you do not, then please feel free to say this. But say to the people who are your friends, because this cannot be used with your boss, because if you do, then that's extremely rude to your boss, but fine with your friends. Write it here. You can use it with your friends. Here we are to the next phrase. It bores me to tears. What can bore you to tears? What it means is that you're so bored that you almost want to cry. Are you feeling like that? Please don't. I'm here. It bores me to tears. If your cell phone breaks and you don't have access to the internet, your laptop has crashed, how will you feel? You'll be bored to tears because you will have nothing to do. So that's what it means. Height of frustration. You're so bored. Height of frustration for you. Alright, the next one. What a bore. This also means that something has bored you too much. If you're going out with your friends, again, and they say that, okay, let's go to Rig Rock's Cafe. And you don't like that place because you don't find it interesting and there is nothing to do for you there. I also know one such cafe where I don't want to do anything and I really just don't enjoy it. So I can say, no, that place is a bore, or what a bore is that place. Any which ways you can use it. You may not even include it in a sentence. You may just use it as a comment. What a bore. That'll be enough. With this, we come to the last phrase for the day. How tedious or dull. What do we mean by tedious? Tedious means something that goes on continuously, doesn't stop, and requires a lot of effort. Can you relate to it? What about those assignments that you have from school or college? And maybe you have some work from your workplace as well, which is very tedious, where you need to put in a lot of effort and it's just never ending. And also, on top of that, it doesn't interest you. It is dull. Means not exciting. Then you can use this. You can just say or comment how tedious or dull this work is. You can say that to yourself. You can say that to your friends or anybody. The last three phrases are best used with your friends. Because if you say it to your boss or an acquaintance, it might become very rude and slightly offensive. As I already told you, these two phrases are very formal and they are also very polite, so you can use it with anybody. And this phrase here can also be used with your friends as it's written towards the end of the phrase. They can also be used with your friends. Better if you not use it with an acquaintance. And the first one here means emotionless, and the second one means something which is extremely boring. Here we are, done with all the phrases. And if you have still not got over your boredom, then please keep watching my videos. Go ahead, see all of them, and I'm sure you'll learn a lot, and also you'll get over your boredom, I'm very sure. Thank you so much for being with me. This was so much fun. I hope it was fun for you also. Take care. Bye-bye. See you soon.